Hello, are you getting ready for your trade shows or are you thinking about whether to attend trade shows and how it might help your business? Then this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about some tips that you should consider to crush your next trade show or even to consider to decide whether you're going to invest your money, your time, resources attending these trade shows. For anybody who do not know me, my name is Melinda Chen. I'm the founder of Women Making Big Sales. We are here to share with you all the tips, strategies that you can use to help you sell to big clients, to help you close more sales and bigger sales. So if you're a business owner, a small entrepreneur, and you're trying to figure out, hey, how do I sell to big companies? How do I get in front of them? How do I use the limited resources I have to close the sales, then follow us on YouTube or on Facebook, subscribe to our videos, and we'll show you all the practical strategies we use to help you sell better. This is not a practical tools that we use for big corporations. No, we know that you're small entrepreneurs, and with your clients. I think we had a bad connection before, but I hope it's working. So now we're going to be talking about trade shows. If you're thinking, hey, should I really attend trade shows? People talk about it. I'm going to tell you 7 essential tips that you should really consider when it comes to trade show. So tip number 1, be very focused in terms of which trade show you're going to attend. On average, people would spend from $3,000 to $15,000, $20,000 on one specific trade show. Go from small to big. So if you're about to attend a trade show, you better make sure that it is a trade show that is worth going for. So the first thing you want to consider is that, can I get the leads out of this trade show that I cannot get anywhere else? The reality is that today we're in this online world that it's so easy to get leads. Yes, I'm going to say it. It's very easy to get leads. But whether they're qualified leads, that's a different question. But it's actually quite easy to get leads and quite easy to get information about companies. So if you're attending a trade show, you have to ask yourself, hey, am I really going to a place that, that really I can get really, really qualified leads? Or a lot of times, if you're targeting a more traditional market, like manufacturing or pharmaceuticals, where most of the decision makers are not online, they don't have a lot of LinkedIn profiles, then you could consider doing trade shows because it's a lot harder to reach out to them. So if that's something that you can ask your business and really say, hey, can I get those leads in that trade shows that I cannot get other places elsewhere? And also, it doesn't hurt you could go to LinkedIn groups or Facebook groups or people and ask them for feedbacks on specific trade shows. And that's usually what I do when I enter into a brand new market. The first thing I do is go to LinkedIn group and ask people, hey, what are the best trade shows to attend for this specific industries? I want to hear people's feedback because in my mind, I don't have time to go to lots of trade shows and it could get overwhelming when there are so many places to go to. But I want to go to the best of the best. I want to go to the places where big clients are, where I get lots of inspirations and where I meet tons of important resources or network. So ask around and ask people's feedback, and most likely you are going to get a consensus relatively quickly. You are going to hear people saying that you got to go to one specific trade shows because that is the trade shows to go to. The last thing you want to go to is go to really small ones and where they don't have a lot of great prospects. You might just be wasting, a couple of grands or even $5,000 of your time, money, and also time on places where you might not get any good leads or even sales from those. So the number thing is ask around and make sure that you could actually get the leads. And I also want to let you know is that when you go to trade shows, any specific trade shows, they usually have the exhibitors list on that trade show. So you can look at the number of exhibitors that are going to be there, and that gives you an indication of the quality of the trade shows. And sometimes they also give out stats of the visitors that come and also the services they provide. And these also give you indication of how organized this exhibition is and the show is, and whether it's worth your money and your time to attend. The second thing that I want to talk to you, and that's a really, really important question for small entrepreneurs, is that should I have my own booth or not? And that is a big question because we know that, setting up a booth, you don't just rent the place. You also have to get, all the exhibition, all the marketing materials ready, banners ready, and you need to hire extra help to help you set up the booth. You have to rent electrical outlets, you have to rent chairs, and all those details. And especially for small entrepreneurs that, we got so many other things to take care of, our existing clients, our potential clients, our employees. It could be overwhelming when it comes to getting a booth and setting up a booth. And especially when you're just starting, and just get all the banners ready, you could easily spend close to $10,000 on getting everything set up. So, but a lot of people thought, hey, if I'm going to a trade show, I better set up my own booth, and that would be the only way to reach out to my potential clients. They got to have a place to set it up, to or see my products or talk to me, and a place to sit down with me. For an experienced salesperson, I've been going to trade shows since I was 15, actually. And I've had my own booth before. I've set up my own booth, but now I don't set up any of my own booth anymore. And the reason being that, especially me, I tend to sell by myself. I don't have a huge team to sell with me. So the first thing that always bothers me about having my own booth is that I tend to get small clients when I have my own booth. So a lot of smaller clients that would tend to walk around and look at different booths and talk to people. And I don't get to see and talk to bigger clients, because the reality is those bigger clients, the decision makers, the people who are looking for 5-6 figures sales to annual contract, they tend to work with insiders. They tend to work with people they already know. And during trade shows, they've already set up tons of meetings with their existing suppliers or potential suppliers. But those real decision makers, they usually get really, really busy during trade shows. They would have their own conference rooms, and it's basically meeting after meeting for these people. They don't have a lot of time to just walk around, look at different suppliers, and get information. So for me to just sit there passively and not be able to walk around and go get businesses, for me, it's a waste of opportunities. So instead, what I do is that 1 month or 2 months before the trade shows, I will reach out to the people who are going to be present during the trade show. How would you know that? How would you know whether these people are going to be present during the trade shows? You know, by doing the research on a lot of trade shows, they will show the exhibitors who are going to be present, or the past visitors, who usually visit these places. And I also use LinkedIn to really find out, okay, who the decision makers are. Who am I selling to? What are the positions of the people I want to try to talk to? Part of my business, I often have to talk to a lot of research and development directors, and those are the positions I would try to find, or the decision makers on LinkedIn or through social research. So I would try to find their emails and try to reach out to them and to let them know that I will be present during the trade shows and invite them to have a meeting with me. But most importantly, 2-3 months before the actual trade shows, I would actually get down, have lunch or a coffee with some of the insiders of the industry. And I would ask them, what's going on with the industry right now? And what are the biggest challenge my clients are facing these days? And what are my competitors doing these days? How are they doing? Are they doing a good job, or maybe they're not? What are the challenges they're facing? So before the trade shows, I already know the most important issues I want to address and how I can help my potential clients solve their problems. And that is a huge topic. Because apart from try to meet up with people or try to get a meeting, at the end, your potential clients want to know whether you can solve their most urgent needs. And you got to be prepared to answer that question. You got to be prepared to say, hey, I know what's going on with you, and I am there to help you. And also, here are the solutions. So research. And I know I say this all the time. I always tell people about research. But we could talk about all different strategies, sales funnels, what to say, email templates, lead generations. At the end, you still got to know what your clients' pains are. There's nothing more important than that. So the second tip is that, hey, do your research beforehand and approach your client before your trade shows. That is more important than setting up the marketing stuff, setting up the booth, or all the other things. You got to approach your big clients first and get yourself on their calendar, because those clients, especially if you're going after big clients, their calendars are going to get filled really soon. So you want to make sure that you set up appointments with them and you confirm the appointments so that your name is on their agenda during those trade shows. And the third thing is that, you have to plan ahead in terms of, what kind of opt-ins, what kind of information you're going to give to your clients ahead of time. Because I'm going to say that your big clients could cancel on you right before the trade shows. It's possible. It happens all the time. Don't take it personally. The only thing you can do is try to prevent it. So have reasonable expectation, knowing that, hey, my big clients could cancel this meeting anytime they want, because, hey, that's the reality. They've got tons of different engagements. Lots of people want to meet with them. So if you're not on top of their mind, your meeting might get canceled. So keep that in mind. So prepare emails ahead of time to continue to remind them that, hey, these are the things I want to talk about. And these are important because, I've spoken with other people, your competitors are doing specific things. Try to remind your clients why they have to meet with you, because you've got solutions for them, because you know about the competitors' information, you know about the latest industry trends, and you know about some of the tricks and tips that you want to share with them. But plan ahead. Even though your focus is the trade shows, your sales funnel or your sales relationship already starts right way before the trade show starts. And tip number 4, network. You are going to have 3 days, 4 days, depending on trade shows, of hectic timing. But never eat alone. You don't have to, you don't have to constantly make sure that you're only with your clients, but, connect with people, connect with insiders. Those 3-4 days could be the most powerful day of the rest of your year. So even if you don't have appointments with your clients, try to connect with, people who are doing different things as you do, but you target the same clients. So people who you could potentially partner with, network with people, go to any happy hour networking events or education panels, whatever you could do. You have to fill your days with speaking with people, building new relationships. Even if you're not getting having meetings with your clients, make sure that you eat with somebody else. Never eat alone. I mean, you only got 3-4 days to meet as many people as possible. So that's tip number 4. You have to be ready that these 4 days, your goal is to meet as many people as possible. Ideally, you want to fill your time with your prospective clients. If not, build relationship with people you can partner with or you can get insider information for. Number 5 is that if you meet with your potential clients and you guys are talking about great stuff and the clients seem to be excited to work with you, and there's always a next follow-up, right? You say, that's great, that's awesome, let's follow up, let's keep this conversation going. Make sure that you book an appointment on that day. That means that, hey, yeah, I'm excited that, we're going to be follow up on this conversation. Why don't we just start, confirming the date of our next meeting, of our next calls? Because hi, I think after trade shows, it actually gets extremely busy and extremely hectic. So you want to book an appointment with the people right away. So make sure that if your prospective client wants to speak with you, then say, great, let's set up the date right away. Because afterwards we get busy and it's a lot harder to follow up with your prospective clients afterwards. And number six, after the shows, make sure that you follow up with all the business cards you collect. Create a template for your prospective clients, and then for your the potential partners you can work with. But send quick emails to make sure you follow up. I know you're gonna have collected so many business cards; it'll be really hard to keep track. But make sure you set up a system so that you can follow up efficiently, and then make you don't waste those relationships that you created during the trade shows. All right, these are the tips that I really, really recommend you to think about during the trade shows and for your own trade shows. I might create a checklist of things I just talked about so that people can download and then they could just use a checklist for. But if you have any questions about trade shows or selling to big companies, follow me, like our Facebook page or subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we'll also always send you the information that you can use for your business and to sell to big clients. So together, let's make big sales. Talk to you next time.